Your business can grow faster than you think when you focus on real strategies that actually work. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover practical ways to build a loyal customer base, increase engagement, and create lasting relationships that keep people coming back. You'll learn how to identify your audience, deliver real value, and keep your operations running smoothly while staying ahead of competitors. This video is packed with actionable insights you can start applying today to see real results. Every tip is designed to help you improve your business step by step, build trust with customers, and create a system that works even when you're not watching. Stick around, take notes, and watch closely. Your approach to growth is about to change. Subscribe to Audiobook Shift for more strategies that make your business smarter, faster, and stronger every day. Number 1, identify target audience. Then serve consistently. Start by admitting one simple truth. Business growth begins with knowing who will actually care. This is not a marketing trick or a clever hack. It is the foundation. When the foundation is clear, every decision, product design, pricing, messaging, distribution, customer service becomes easier, sharper, and faster. Start with calm, disciplined attention. Put distractions aside. Focus only on what is within control. Listening, testing, and serve. Begin with clear observation. Spend a week watching real people interact with whatever is closest to the product or service. If there is a physical space, stand near the entrance and notice posture, pace, facial expression. Pay attention to small details. Which displays get touched, which shelf gets ignored, which questions are asked aloud. If the business is online, open the analytics dashboard and watch behavior in plain numbers. Which pages hold attention, where people drop off, which referral sources bring the most engaged visitors. This is not guesswork. Collect the facts and write them down. Turn facts into profiles. A profile is not a stereotype. It is a concise, factual description of a real human who would use the product. Give each profile a short, accurate label and record 5 specifics. Age range, primary goal they are trying to accomplish, one real frustration they face, the place they spend time online or offline, and the action that indicates intent, purchase, sign up. For example, early career freelancers, 25-34, need predictable clients, frustrated by inconsistent income, active in professional LinkedIn groups, convert after seeing portfolio case studies. Create 3 to 5 such profiles and limit each to a half page. This is speed and discipline over perfection. Test assumptions with direct questions. Schedule 10 conversations with people who match the profiles. Use a simple script. Ask what they were trying to do when they last looked for a solution, what stopped them from solving it, how they judged options, and what could make them choose one provider over another. Keep the conversation short and focused. Record responses and look for repeated words or repeated emotions. Common language is a goldmine. Those repeated phrases are the exact words a customer will use when deciding. Use those words in headlines, in emails, in product description. Map the customer journey like a careful engineer. Break the journey into 3 stages: awareness, evaluation, and decision. For each stage, list the single most important action the customer must take and the single biggest obstacle standing in the way. Awareness. Find the message and the channel where the customer first notices a solution. Evaluation. Provide clear comparisons and proof so the customer can assess trust and fit. Decision. Remove friction, simplify checkout, offer clear guarantees, clarify next steps. For each stage, name one measurable metric to track. Discipline requires measuring progress. Create a minimum viable promise that is easy to deliver consistently. A promise is not an overblown marketing slogan. It is a clear, deliverable commitment that solves a specific problem for the chosen profile. For example, deliver starter website in 3 days for under $500, or replace broken component within 48 hours. No questions asked. The promise should be tight, concrete, and repeatable. Train the team to deliver it without drama. The strength of a promise is proven in the 1,000th repetition, not the first announcement. Standardize the service process. Write the step-by-step tasks required to deliver that promise from start to finish. This procedural clarity eliminates accidental failure and builds dependable customer experience. For an online product, document every email template, response time, and escalation path. For a physical service, list each touchpoint with times and quality checks. Practice the process until it feels natural. The goal is not to remove humanity from interactions, but to free up mental energy so staff can be present and attentive within a reliable structure. Be relentless about small wins. Consistent service compounds. When a single customer receives a clear, reliable experience, the probability of repeat purchase, referral, and public praise increases dramatically. Encourage team members to focus on the smallest unit of service, a courteous follow-up, a precise delivery, a clear invoice, and win that unit every time. Daily discipline in the small tasks builds trust faster than grand promises. Use measurement as a discipline, not as a shaming tool. Identify 3 leading indicators that reflect whether the chosen audience is being served. Examples include repeat purchase rate, time from first contact to purchase, customer satisfaction on an immediate post-service question. Measure these indicators every week. Create a simple dashboard and review it with the team. When a metric slips, treat it as a signal to investigate, not a reason to panic. The Stoic approach: respond calmly, correct what is broken, and continue. Build feedback loops that prioritize listening. After each meaningful interaction, ask one clear question: what would make this experience better for you? Keep the survey short. Long surveys produce no answers. Then act within 72 hours on every legitimate issue that repeats. Respond to the customer who raised the problem and tell them what changed because of their feedback. This is the tangible currency of trust. When customers see that feedback becomes action, loyalty deepens in a practical, observable way. Align incentives with the customer outcome. Compensation, bonuses, and recognition must reward consistent service to the target audience, not short-term metrics that encourage shortcuts. If the goal is long-term loyalty, reward repeat purchases, positive referrals, and sustained satisfaction rather than one-time sales volume. Create a clear recognition ritual, a monthly note to a team member who solved a recurring problem for the target customer, or a small public acknowledgement of the employee who consistently reduced friction in the checkout process. These rituals reinforce disciplined behavior and encourage mastery. Craft a communication cadence that serves the audience, not the ego. Frequency matters less than relevance. Send fewer messages that are meaningful rather than many messages that are noise. For each message, ask, does this help the customer take the next step toward their goal? If the answer is no, do not send it. Use language that the customer uses when describing their problem. This reduces friction and builds rapport. Whenever possible, show proof in concrete terms, before and after data, short case examples, screenshots, or quick audio testimony. Proof quiets doubt. Scale with guardrails. Growth demands replication, and replication requires systems that maintain the integrity of the original promise. Create training modules that capture the core behaviors and decisions that delight the chosen audience. When hiring, test candidates with scenarios that mimic real customer problems. During onboarding, shadow new hires in real interactions until they can reproduce the standard reliably. Expansion without discipline dilutes the brand. Expand only when the process proves repeatable in 2 distinct settings. Accept rejection as information. Not every customer is the right customer. Some interactions will reveal mismatches. Those conversations are valuable. Do not bend the process to win a sale that will be costly in the long run. The Stoic posture is to welcome clear evidence and to allocate resources where the return measured in loyalty and lifetime value is real. Saying no to the wrong request preserves energy for the right ones. Practice daily discipline in the small operational choices. Begin each day by reviewing one metric and one customer comment. Make one small improvement that reduces friction. That could be shortening a form field, clarifying a headline, or answering a frequently asked question proactively in an email. Incremental improvements accumulate. Habitual discipline transforms sporadic efforts into a culture that consistently serves. Create rituals that reinforce the customer focus. Hold a weekly stand-up where one team member reads a customer message aloud, and the team discusses how to improve the experience. Celebrate a single story of a customer who benefited. These rituals keep attention anchored. In the absence of ritual, attention wanders, and the organization drifts toward internal priorities. Finally, accept that mastery is ordinary work done reliably. Growth is not fireworks and sudden epiphanies. It is daily discipline applied to a clear truth. Serve the right people consistently. The reward is not merely financial. It is a calm confidence that comes from fulfilling a promise repeatedly and watching trust accumulate. That confidence steadies decisions, makes hiring clearer, and reduces stress when setbacks arise. In the quiet of daily practice, the business becomes a reflection of steady purpose. When the audience is known and service is relentless, marketing is no longer a plea. It is a conversation. The work requires patience and courage. Patience to test and measure without grand statements. Courage to cut what does not serve the chosen audience. This disciplined approach builds something that lasts. Customers who return, customers who speak for the brand, and a business that grows because it consistently does what it promises. Number 2, deliver value first. Earn trust quickly. Delivering value first is not a tactic. It is a mindset. The moment a person encounters a product, service, or brand, they silently ask themselves a question: will this improve my life or cost me time, energy, or trust? The way the answer is perceived is decisive. If the response is clear, immediate, and tangible, trust forms quickly. If it is vague, delayed, or self-serving, doubt settles in. A business that focuses first on providing real value flips the traditional transaction on its head. The customer is no longer chasing promises. They are receiving proof. This shift is subtle but powerful. Begin with clarity about what value really is to your audience. Value is never about the company's needs or internal preferences. It is always about the person on the other side of the transaction. What problem do they need solved right now? What small victory could make their day easy? What question, if answered, would remove uncertainty? A spreadsheet or data analysis will never purpose this insight. You need to listen, observe, and reflect. Watch how people interact with existing solutions. Take note of complaints, confusion, and hesitation. Each one is a direct pointer toward meaningful value. Once the problems and frustrations are identified, consider how to respond immediately and tangibly. If the audience seeks clarity, provide it in simple, precise steps. If they need efficiency, remove steps, streamline forms, and reduce friction. Trust is fragile. Provide proof, transparency, and guarantees that can be observed and measured. These are not theoretical exercises, they are concrete actions. Each interaction is a test. Does this act make the customer's life measurably better in some way? If yes, the relationship strengthens. If no, adjust without delay. Small gestures have disproportionate impact. A detailed, actionable guide, a free audit, a quick consultation, a sample, or even a thoughtful explanation in an email can shift perception from skepticism to respect. Do not overthink scale at this stage. Focus on the precision of value. When a person experiences benefit without immediate cost or expectation, psychological doors open. Trust does not require hype, flashy promises, or aggressive sales tactics. It requires demonstration of competence, reliability, and attentiveness. Consistency is the second pillar. Providing value once creates a spark, but repetition turns it into a sustained flame. Develop a cadence of meaningful interactions that reinforce the message. Small, practical tips, actionable insights, or incremental improvements in service. Each interaction is a proof point. Every time the promise is met, trust accrues. Miss once, and the hard work of earning credibility evaporates. Discipline and repetition are not glamorous, but they are irreplaceable. They are the compound interest of trust. Transparency amplifies perceived value. Share not only what the business can do, but also what it cannot. Set boundaries with honesty, not excuses. People respect clarity, and trust accelerates when there is no ambiguity. Overpromising may yield short-term transactions, but it undermines long-term relationships. Delivering value first requires courage, the courage to show competence honestly, without embellishment, and to let results speak louder than marketing rhetoric. Anticipation is another tool for accelerating trust. Predict the questions, objections, and needs of the audience and address them proactively. This shows attentiveness and empathy. Anticipation reduces friction and demonstrates mastery of both product and human behavior. When the audience experiences that their concerns are understood even before voiced, loyalty begins to root. Attention to details signals seriousness and competence. Every email, every interface, every meeting is an opportunity to preemptively solve a problem and strengthen credibility. Leverage evidence in tangible ways. Case studies, testimonials, demonstrations, and concrete results transform claims into reality. Abstract promises are weak. Measurable outcomes are persuasive. Highlighting measurable improvement, time saved, mistakes avoided, money earned, creates immediate clarity of benefit. Each demonstration should be simple, relatable, and verifiable. People remember what they experience, not what they are told. Provide examples that mirror the customer situation to deepen connection. Teaching is a subtle yet profound form of value. Sharing knowledge freely, explaining complex ideas in digestible ways, and revealing insights the audience might not discover themselves establishes authority and trust. Education should be practical, actionable, and directly tied to the audience's goals. A well-timed piece of guidance that improves understanding or capability signals competence without coercion. This method has dual effect. It provides immediate value and positions the business as an indispensable resource for future interaction. Speed matters. When problems arise or questions are asked, responding quickly reinforces the perception of reliability. Delays erode confidence, even if the eventual answer is excellent. Build systems and habits that allow for prompt acknowledgement, solution, and follow-up. A quick, well-considered response communicates attention, respect, and capability. Customers remember how quickly and effectively their issue was addressed, often more than the solution itself. Consistent, fast service is the silent architect of trust. Encourage small, early wins for the customer. Instead of waiting for a large, complex result, create moments where the customer feels immediate progress. This could be a small improvement, a tangible tip, or a mini deliverable. Early victories reduce anxiety, reinforce confidence, and create a momentum effect. People are naturally drawn to experiences that show immediate benefit, and those experiences translate into loyalty. Value delivered first is about prioritizing the impact over the scale initially. Feedback loops accelerate growth. After delivering a meaningful interaction, ask for honest input. Use the information to refine both the offering and the delivery process. Demonstrating that feedback is not only heard, but acted upon deepens trust. The audience perceives that the business's interest is aligned with theirs, not with internal convenience or expedience. Quick, responsive adjustments show respect for the relationship and a commitment to improvement. Avoid the trap of overcomplicating communication. Clarity and simplicity are critical. Every explanation, instruction, and touchpoint should be understandable without requiring additional translation. Complex language or unnecessary detail reduces perceived value. Speak plainly, show results plainly, act plainly. Trust grows fastest when the audience can immediately see, understand, and verify the benefit. Commitment to value first must be embedded in the culture of the business. Every team member should understand that the first interaction is the most important. Training should emphasize empathy, clarity, and tangible benefit over speed or efficiency alone. Processes should reward actions that enhance customer experience, not only financial outcomes. Trust is a social product. It multiplies when every person involved consistently demonstrates commitment to value. The culmination of these practices is a strong, resilient foundation of trust. A customer who experiences repeated, consistent value begins to internalize confidence in the business. That trust accelerates every subsequent interaction. Purchases are easier, recommendations are more frequent, objections are lower, and loyalty lasts longer. The compound effect of delivering value first is measurable over time. Relationships strengthen, revenue stabilizes, and the business grows with a quiet certainty. Ultimately, Delivering value first is not a strategy for short-term gain. It is a disciplined approach rooted in respect, insight, and execution. By focusing relentlessly on the customer's needs, demonstrating competence, and following through consistently, trust forms naturally and swiftly. The discipline of daily action, the courage to provide help without immediate return, and the attentiveness to tangible outcomes become the invisible architecture of growth. Businesses that master this principle not only earn transactions, they cultivate loyalty, reputation, and lasting impact. Every interaction is an opportunity to prove that value comes first, and through that, trust is never in doubt. This approach transforms ordinary transactions into a chain of dependable, meaningful experiences. It teaches the business and its team the power of anticipation, the necessity of clarity, and the compounding effect of consistent service. Delivering value first is the quiet mastery that turns customers into advocates and ideas into lasting outcomes. The principle is simple, but applying it rigorously every day builds a foundation that grows stronger and more resilient with every interaction. Trust emerges naturally when value is provided consistently, without expectation, and with precision. It is not accidental. It is the result of disciplined attention to real human needs, repeated action, and unwavering commitment to making life better in tangible ways. Mastery in this area is not measured by how loudly a message is broadcast, but by how clearly, reliably, and consistently the audience experiences benefit. This is the principle in motion. Serve first, solve first, improve first, and trust will follow without fail. Number 3. Personalize experience. Increase repeat customer loyalty. Every individual responds to attention and recognition. Businesses that treat customers as numbers or generic accounts may achieve transactions, but they rarely inspire loyalty. Personalization is the bridge between a simple purchase and a meaningful relationship. It is the conscious act of acknowledging the unique preferences, behaviors, and needs of each person who interacts with the brand. When executed correctly, it transforms the experience from a mere exchange of goods or services into an interaction that feels intentional, thoughtful, and human. Begin by collecting the right information. This is not about invasive questions or excessive data harvesting. It is about understanding patterns, preferences, and priorities that help serve better. Observe buying habits, preferred communication channels, frequency of engagement, and feedback provided across interactions. Even small insights can guide decisions. For example, noting that a customer frequently orders a specific product variation or responds enthusiastically to particular content allows you to anticipate their needs. The subtlety of this approach is in its discretion. Personalization is most effective when it feels natural and unforced. Segment customers intelligently. A truly personalized approach does not treat every individual as entirely distinct. It identifies shared traits among smaller, meaningful groups. Group customers by behavior, goals, or challenges they face. For instance, some might respond to problem-solving content, while others seek inspiration or entertainment. By understanding these distinctions, you can craft tailored messages, recommendations, and experiences that resonate more deeply than one-size-fits-all solutions ever could. Segmentation is not just efficiency, it is the art of relevance. Leverage technology to amplify personalization without losing humanity. Automation tools, data platforms, and analytics dashboards can help identify patterns and trigger timely interactions. However, technology should support empathy, not replace it. Emails, notifications, or messages should reflect context, history, and observed preferences. A simple acknowledgement of past purchases, behaviors, or milestones conveys attention and builds rapport. For example, recognizing a repeat customer's loyalty with a tailored recommendation or a thank you note demonstrates mindfulness that technology alone cannot generate. Craft interactions that feel exclusive. Exclusivity does not mean expensive or inaccessible. It means the customer perceives a level of attention reserved specifically for them. This can manifest in customized product suggestions, personalized discounts based on purchase history, or curated content aligned with individual interests. These small touches create a sense of recognition and appreciation, transforming the customer's perception of the business from transactional to relational. The power of exclusivity lies in the subtlety. It is felt more than it is seen. Use memory and history as tools. Remembering small details, such as previous purchases, preferences, or communication styles, signals attentiveness. This requires systematic documentation of interactions and thoughtful retrieval when the next contact occurs. When a customer observes that the business recalls their choices and adjusts accordingly, a deeper sense of trust and respect emerges. This is not manipulation. It is attentive service executed with integrity. Each personalized touch compounds over time, creating a cumulative effect that strengthens loyalty. Incorporate proactive personalization. Anticipating needs before they are expressed is a powerful way to demonstrate care. If a pattern shows that a customer typically reorders after a specific period, sending a timely reminder or suggestion adds convenience and shows awareness. Proactive gestures can also include offering solutions to problems the customer may not have recognized yet, or suggesting complementary services that enhance their original purchase. This kind of anticipation elevates the relationship beyond simple transaction and into thoughtful service. Encourage emotional connection through personalized communication. Use language that reflects familiarity and understanding of the customer's journey. Acknowledging milestones, like anniversaries, repeat purchase milestones, or achievements related to product usage, cultivates a bond beyond functional benefit. Personal touches that celebrate the customer's progress or align with their values reinforce the perception that the business is invested in them as individuals, not just as revenue sources. This emotional resonance is a key keeper of long-term loyalty. Tailor rewards and recognition to reinforce behavior that strengthens loyalty. Instead of generic loyalty programs, design rewards that resonate with the customer's interests and habits. If a customer engages with content, provide deeper insights or advanced access. If purchases are frequent, offer benefits that enhance convenience or utility, rather than simply discounting. Aligning incentives with personal preferences shows that the business observes and values individual contribution. Recognition that feels thoughtful rather than arbitrary amplifies trust and attachment. Continuously iterate based on feedback and behavior. Personalization is dynamic, not static. Preferences evolve, interests shift, and circumstances change. Maintain a disciplined system to monitor behavior, collect feedback, and adjust interactions accordingly. This ongoing refinement demonstrates that the relationship is active, attentive, and evolving. It also ensures that personalization remains relevant and effective, rather than outdated or perfunctory. The ability to adapt quickly differentiates businesses that sustain loyalty from those that merely achieve one-time transactions. Embed personalization into the culture of the business. Every team member, from frontline service staff to product developers, must understand the importance of recognizing the individual customer. Empower employees to make small, thoughtful adjustments in real time. A frontline agent who remembers a recurring request, a developer who designs features anticipating user needs, or a marketer who tailors messaging to behavior all contribute to the perception of individualized care. Cultural integration ensures consistency and authenticity in every interaction. Measure the impact of personalization not just by transactions, but by engagement, satisfaction, and repeat behavior. Metrics should reflect the depth of connection rather than surface activity. Track the frequency of return interactions, engagement with tailored content, participation in personalized offers, and longevity of customer relationships. These indicators reveal whether the investment in personalization is translating into meaningful loyalty. Analysis should guide refinement and reinforce strategies that demonstrate tangible improvements in the customer experience. Anticipate and prevent fatigue from over-personalization. While attention and tailored interactions are appreciated, excessive contact or invasive methods can feel manipulative. Respect boundaries and observe patterns of engagement. Personalization works best when it is subtle, helpful, and contextually appropriate. Balancing frequency, relevance, and tone ensures the experience is enriching rather than burdensome. The aim is to foster a sense of care, not to pressure or overwhelm. Deliver value consistently within personalized experiences. Personalization is most effective when paired with reliability. Customized offers or communications lose impact if the underlying service fails to meet expectations. Every touchpoint should reinforce competence and attention. Consistency signals respect for the customer's time and choices, and it compounds trust. The more predictable and positive the personalized experience, the stronger the loyalty that develops over time. Recognize that loyalty is cultivated over repeated, meaningful experiences. No single interaction, no matter how perfectly executed, guarantees permanence. Each subsequent engagement is an opportunity to reinforce attention, relevance, and care. The repetition of thoughtful, individualized service solidifies the perception that the business is consistently aligned with the customer's priorities. Loyalty is not won in a day. It grows quietly through deliberate, sustained effort. Leverage storytelling and context to deepen personalization. Integrate details of the customer's journey into communications, highlighting how their choices and interactions contribute to outcomes. When customers see their own narrative reflected in messages, advice, or recommendations, the experience becomes immersive and personally relevant. Storytelling contextualizes data and interactions, transforming them into a cohesive, relatable, and engaging experience. This approach strengthens emotional connection and reinforces behavioral loyalty. Maintain humility and personalization. Avoid assuming complete understanding of the customer's inner motivations. Instead, approach every interaction with curiosity and respect. Ask questions, confirm preferences, and validate assumptions through action. Demonstrating willingness to learn from the customer builds reciprocal respect and reinforces the perception that the business is genuinely invested in their success. Humility in approach enhances authenticity and credibility. Finally, understand that personalization is the gateway to long-term advocacy. When individuals feel seen, heard, and valued, they become not only repeat customers but also enthusiastic promoters. Recommendations emerge naturally, extending the business's reach without coercion. By consistently shaping experiences around the unique needs, behaviors, and preferences of each person, the business nurtures relationships that are durable, meaningful, and mutually beneficial. The impact of thoughtful personalization compounds quietly, establishing a foundation for sustained growth and deep trust that endures beyond a single transaction. Personalizing experiences is not a luxury. It is a discipline. It requires observation, empathy, action, and reflection, executed continuously. When performed with care, it transforms ordinary interactions into opportunities for connection, loyalty, and lasting impact. Each carefully considered touchpoint signals attentiveness, each proactive gesture demonstrates understanding, and each thoughtful adaptation reinforces the customer's perception of being valued. Over time, this deliberate practice solidifies relationships, builds trust, and creates a network of customers who return willingly and advocate passionately. The mastery of personalization is not in occasional brilliance, but in the daily, intentional, and unwavering commitment to recognizing and serving the individuality of every person the business touches. Number 4, optimize marketing channels. Track engagement results. Marketing is not about being everywhere. It is about being effective where it matters most. Businesses often expend energy across countless platforms, hoping that presence alone will generate results. In reality, spreading too thin dilutes focus and wastes resources. Optimizing marketing channels means identifying the precise venues, mediums, and methods that reach the right audience, at the right time with the right message. It requires disciplined observation, clear measurement, and strategic adjustment to ensure every effort produces tangible outcomes. Begin with a clear understanding of where your audience engages. Research behaviors, preferences, and patterns. Where do they consume information? Which social platforms, forums, email newsletters, or search channels do they trust and frequent? Identify both primary and secondary channels based on accessibility and influence. Observe not only where activity is highest, but where engagement is meaningful. Comments, shares, clicks, and conversions. Not all impressions are equal. Attention is currency. Target where it is earned, not assumed. Each marketing channel has unique characteristics that influence how messages are received. A post on social media demands concise, compelling content, often visual and instantly understandable. Email communication allows more depth, explanation, and a sequence of touches over time. Search engine optimization relies on clarity, relevance, and alignment with intent. Understanding the strengths and limitations of each channel ensures that messages are tailored effectively. Optimized marketing aligns format, tone, and timing to the medium rather than forcing a one-size-fits-all approach. Test early and frequently. Begin campaigns with small, controlled experiments to measure engagement and conversion. Use variations in content, timing, format, and targeting to observe what resonates. Treat every campaign as a learning opportunity. Collect data on impressions, click-throughs, shares, sign-ups, and purchases. Patterns emerge when attention is focused on meaningful metrics rather than vanity statistics. These insights allow refinement, enabling resources to flow toward the most productive channels with precision. Establish key performance indicators that are clear, measurable, and tied to objectives. Instead of measuring activity alone, focus on outcomes. How many interactions led to conversions? Which channels generated repeat visits or inquiries? Which content prompted action versus passive observation? Establishing measurable goals creates accountability and clarity. Without defined metrics, optimization becomes speculative rather than disciplined. Each decision should be guided by evidence, not assumption. Consistency amplifies effectiveness across channels. Messages should maintain a coherent voice, tone, and value proposition, even as they adapt to different formats. Brand perception thrives on clarity and alignment. Disparate messaging confuses audiences and undermines credibility. A disciplined, consistent approach builds recognition, reinforces trust, and enhances the cumulative impact of all marketing efforts. Every channel contributes to a unified narrative that strengthens the audience's understanding of the brand. Engagement tracking is as important as channel selection. Observe not only reach, but how the audience interacts with content. Clicks, shares, comments, and time spent are signals of interest and attention. Identify which elements spark curiosity or encourage action. Segment engagement data by audience type to understand behavior differences among demographics, interests, or purchase intent. The precision of tracking allows targeted improvements and informs resource allocation with confidence rather than guesswork. Refine content based on observed patterns. Marketing optimization is iterative, not static. Content should evolve according to feedback, analytics, and observed engagement. High-performing messages should be amplified, while underperforming elements should be adjusted or removed. Use both quantitative metrics and qualitative insights. Comments, survey responses, and direct interactions provide context to numbers, revealing motivations and perceptions that cannot be captured in data alone. Combining these perspectives ensures more accurate adjustments. Time and frequency matter in optimization. Messages must arrive when the audience is most receptive. Experiment with posting schedules, email send times, and promotional windows to identify periods of peak attention. Avoid overwhelming the audience, which can reduce engagement and erode trust. Discipline in timing ensures that efforts are felt as helpful and relevant rather than intrusive. Consistently delivered content at optimal intervals fosters familiarity, anticipation, and trust, enhancing both engagement and results. Allocate resources strategically to the most effective channels. Do not chase every trend or platform without evidence of performance. Focus on where results are measurable and sustainable. Budget, manpower, and attention should follow proven outcomes. This disciplined allocation prevents waste and maximizes return on effort. Prioritizing the right channels allows deeper investment in quality content, stronger relationships with the audience, and more consistent measurement of outcomes. Leverage cross-channel synergies. Optimized marketing is not about isolated platforms. It is about coordination. Traffic, messaging, and engagement from one channel can support others. A well-timed social media post can amplify an email campaign. Search visibility can reinforce brand recognition generated by ads. Understanding the interactions among channels allows strategies to compound effectiveness rather than operate in silos. Coordinated campaigns create a seamless journey that guides the audience toward meaningful action. Personalization within channels enhances engagement. Use insights to tailor messaging according to audience behavior, location, preferences, and past interactions. Personalization increases relevance, which strengthens attention and response. Targeted recommendations, segmented content, and adaptive messaging demonstrate attentiveness, creating experiences that feel intentional rather than generic. When audiences perceive care in communication, trust grows and engagement deepens. Personalized optimization balances technology with human insight, producing measurable impact. Monitor long-term trends as well as immediate results. Short-term campaigns provide rapid insights, but long-term tracking reveals deeper patterns in behavior, preferences, and channel effectiveness. Observe engagement shifts, content resonance over time, and the evolution of audience needs. This temporal awareness allows proactive adaptation rather than reactive adjustments, keeping strategies aligned with real-world dynamics. Long-term monitoring distinguishes sustained success from fleeting spikes in activity. Continuously integrate feedback into optimization. Audience responses, inquiries, and critiques are essential indicators of channel performance. Direct feedback illuminates gaps, friction points, and opportunities that metrics alone may miss. Responding to insights in a structured, timely manner demonstrates attentiveness and fosters stronger connections. Feedback-informed adjustments refine both content and distribution, creating a responsive system that maximizes engagement and reinforces credibility. Test new channels cautiously, always anchored by data. Exploration is necessary for growth, but experimentation should be deliberate. Launch pilot campaigns with clear objectives, defined metrics, and limited investment. Measure performance rigorously before scaling. This approach balances innovation with discipline, ensuring that new opportunities complement rather than disrupt existing effective strategies. Controlled exploration prevents wasted effort and preserves consistent results. Evaluate the return on engagement, not just the cost of execution. Metrics should capture the value generated through leads, conversions, retention, and advocacy. Consider both tangible outcomes and intangible effects, such as brand perception, trust, and awareness. A channel that produces fewer interactions may still deliver greater long-term value if the quality of engagement is higher. Prioritizing meaningful results over volume ensures disciplined, strategic growth. Document processes for repeatability. When effective strategies are identified, record methods, timing, messaging frameworks, and adjustments. Standardized processes allow consistent execution across teams and campaigns. Replication ensures efficiency and reliability in scaling efforts. Documenting optimization practices also creates institutional knowledge, allowing continuous improvement without losing critical insights when personnel or priorities change. Understand that optimization is iterative, not one-time. Continuous observation, adjustment, and refinement are essential. Every new campaign, trend, or shift in audience behavior provides data for improvement. Discipline in monitoring and adjusting ensures strategies remain relevant and effective over time. Optimization is a living practice. Stagnation leads to diminished engagement and wasted resource. Maintain simplicity and clarity in execution. Even the most sophisticated analytics or channel strategies fail if the message is confusing or cluttered. Focus on clarity of communication, ease of access, and seamless user experience. The simpler the path to action, the higher the engagement, and the lower the friction. Precision in delivery complements strategic channel selection, creating a cohesive, efficient, and effective marketing ecosystem. Finally, view marketing optimization as a continuous conversation with the audience, rather than a broadcast. Each channel represents an opportunity to engage, learn, and adjust. Consistent measurement, disciplined adjustment, and attentive interpretation of results create a feedback-driven system that strengthens relationships, amplifies effectiveness, and sustains growth. Optimization is not about perfection in a single campaign, but about disciplined, evidence-based progress over time, ensuring that every touchpoint delivers meaningful engagement, measurable outcomes, and durable impact. When marketing channels are carefully selected, managed, and refined, every interaction becomes purposeful. Tracking engagement results is not a bureaucratic exercise. It is a tool for understanding human behavior, refining communication, and guiding strategic investment. Discipline, attention to detail, and continuous iteration ensure that marketing efforts are not random noise but focused instruments of influence and value, producing lasting results that compound with each intentional, data-informed decision. Number 5. Leverage social proof. Boost brand credibility. Trust is earned slowly but can be accelerated when people see others vouching for the value you provide. Social proof is the natural human tendency to look at the actions, opinions, and behaviors of others to guide decisions. When a potential customer observes that peers, experts, or respected figures have engaged positively with a product or service, confidence in the choice rises dramatically. Leveraging social proof is not manipulation. It is the disciplined act of making genuine validation visible and accessible, reinforcing credibility with tangible evidence. Start with authentic testimonials. Seek out customers who have achieved measurable results or experienced meaningful satisfaction, and ask them to share their story in their own words. Focus on specifics: what problem was solved, how it was resolved, and the tangible impact on their life or work. Authenticity is critical. Generic praise or vague statements carry little weight. When stories include measurable improvements, personal experiences, and relatable contexts, they resonate with new audiences in ways marketing claims alone cannot. Highlight case studies with real outcomes. Beyond individual quotes, detailed accounts of how a product or service transforms situations provide concrete proof. Break down the challenge, action, and result clearly, showing the progression from problem to solution. Include context that mirrors the prospective customer's circumstances whenever possible. When audiences see experiences similar to their own, skepticism diminishes. This approach demonstrates competence, reliability, and relevance without exaggeration. Incorporate expert endorsements strategically. Recognition from industry leaders, credible organizations, or recognized authorities provides an additional layer of validation. Endorsements should be meaningful, specific, and relevant to the audience's needs. Expert approval signals quality and trustworthiness, reinforcing the perception that the product or service meets high standards. The credibility of the endorser must align with the expectations and values of the target audience to maximize impact. Display quantitative metrics where appropriate. Numbers communicate scale and reliability in a way that words alone cannot. Statistics such as the number of satisfied clients, repeat customers, or successful outcomes convey competence and consistency. Data should be accurate, up-to-date, and presented in a clear, understandable format. A prospective customer interprets high engagement or widespread adoption as an indicator of value and reduces uncertainty in their decision-making process. Showcase user-generated content. Encouraging customers to share their experiences through photos, videos, or reviews provides peer-driven validation. Displaying real-life applications of a product or service highlights practicality and relatability. Prospective customers see people like themselves deriving benefit, which naturally enhances trust. Authentic content produced by users carries more weight than company-generated materials because it is perceived as unbiased and genuine. Integrate reviews and ratings transparently. Online ratings, feedback scores, and review platforms allow potential customers to gauge consensus, present both positive feedback and constructive criticism in context, demonstrating honesty and integrity. Transparency in displaying evaluations signals that the business is confident in its value and respects the audience's right to make an informed decision. People are more likely to trust a brand that openly shares both strengths and weaknesses. Leverage social proof in multiple formats and channels. Testimonials, case studies, endorsements, metrics, and user content can be integrated across websites, social media, email communications, and presentations, Replicating proof across touchpoints reinforces credibility and provides multiple opportunities for engagement. Consistent exposure to validation strengthens perception and encourages prospective customers to act with confidence. Each touchpoint serves as a reinforcement rather than repetition if the presentation is thoughtfully adapted to the context. Encourage public recognition of achievements. Sharing milestones, awards, or significant outcomes positions the business as capable and trusted. Celebrating accomplishments publicly signals to the audience that the organization consistently meets objectives and satisfies expectations. Recognition should be meaningful, verifiable, and relevant to the audience's interests. When credibility is demonstrated through accomplishment rather than claim, confidence is reinforced naturally. Build community endorsements. Foster environments where customers can interact, share experiences, and validate each other's choices. Online groups, forums, or community events create opportunities for peer-to-peer confirmation. Seeing others recommend or support a brand within a trusted network has a multiplying effect. Community-driven validation strengthens perception of reliability and encourages participation, enhancing both engagement and loyalty. Implement strategic storytelling. Highlight narratives where customers, teams, or stakeholders faced challenges, took action, and achieved results. Storytelling provides context, emotion, and relatability, making proof memorable. Prospective customers connect more deeply with stories that reflect their own goals and experiences. The combination of emotional resonance and factual outcome reinforces both trust and motivation to engage. Use endorsements to support new initiatives. When launching a product or service, social proof accelerates adoption by reducing perceived risk. Display pilot results, early adopter experiences, or endorsements prominently. Early validation signals credibility and positions the offering as reliable. This proactive use of social proof helps mitigate hesitation, building confidence in the new venture before widespread exposure. Track engagement with social proof. Measure which forms of validation resonate most with the audience. Are testimonials driving inquiries, or are metrics generating more interest? Do visual examples outperform written narratives? Tracking interactions allows refinement, ensuring resources focus on the most effective methods. Optimization based on measurable response ensures social proof consistently contributes to credibility and growth. Maintain authenticity across all proof points. Artificial or inflated validation undermines trust and can have lasting negative effects. Every testimonial, metric, or endorsement should be verifiable and genuine. Audiences are increasingly adept at discerning inauthentic claims. Discipline in ensuring accuracy and honesty sustains credibility, builds respect, and encourages long-term relationships. Leverage peer influence subtly. Recognize that social proof works best when it aligns naturally with audience behavior. Highlight reviews or endorsements that feel relatable and achievable rather than aspirational or distant. Seeing someone with similar circumstances derive benefits strengthens belief in potential outcomes. This form of contextualized validation enhances both credibility and the likelihood of repeat engagement. Create visible milestones and endorsements in real time. Update content to reflect current achievements, recent success stories, and ongoing recognition. Social proof is most persuasive when fresh and active. Stale or outdated validation loses impact and may suggest stagnation. Continuous updating signals vitality, responsiveness, and reliability, reinforcing confidence in the brand. Encourage dialogue around proof. Facilitate opportunities for prospective customers to ask questions, seek clarification, or discuss experiences with existing users. Interactive validation provides dynamic credibility and allows the business to address doubts in real time. Participation in conversations demonstrates accessibility, responsiveness, and commitment to transparency. Connect proof to outcomes. Highlight how endorsements, testimonials, and metrics translate into tangible benefits for the audience. Clearly demonstrate what others achieved, and articulate how prospective customers can expect similar results. Linking validation to concrete impact shifts perception from abstract credibility to actionable assurance. This clarity empowers decision-making and encourages engagement. Embed social proof into decision pathways. Place testimonials, case studies, and endorsements strategically at moments where potential customers evaluate options, consider purchase, or seek reassurance. Timing influences perception. Well-placed proof reduces hesitation and supports confidence in action. Consider both the cognitive and emotional aspects of decision-making, ensuring that proof addresses concerns, validates choice, and accelerates commitment. Reinforce credibility through multiple perspectives. Combine individual experiences, expert opinions, and quantitative data to present a multifaceted view of reliability. Diverse sources of validation reduce doubt and create a comprehensive sense of trustworthiness. When audiences perceive corroboration across different forms of proof, confidence in the brand is strengthened, making decisions easier and engagement more likely. Finally, view social proof as a long-term strategic asset rather than a short-term tactic. Each testimonial, endorsement, and success story compounds over time, building a foundation of trust and credibility that supports ongoing growth. Discipline in gathering, curating, and presenting proof ensures that it remains authentic, relevant, and persuasive. Consistent application of social validation transforms perception into reality, guiding prospective customers toward engagement, reinforcing loyalty, and amplifying the impact of every interaction. Social proof is more than an influence tool. It is a disciplined expression of reliability, competence, and authenticity. When leveraged thoughtfully and consistently, it accelerates confidence, reduces friction in decision-making, and establishes a brand as trustworthy and credible. Every carefully presented proof point, validated story, and real-life example strengthens relationships, builds authority, and cultivates an environment where customers choose engagement confidently, repeatedly, and with conviction. Number 6. Listen to feedback. Implement meaningful changes. Feedback is not just information. It is a compass that guides improvement. Every comment, observation, or complaint carries insight into how a product, service, or interaction is perceived. Ignoring it is an invitation to stagnation, while listening attentively transforms it into opportunity. The act of hearing feedback requires discipline, patience, and humility. It demands that businesses treat criticism and praise alike as actionable intelligence rather than emotional responses. True growth emerges when observation leads to decisive, meaningful change. Start by establishing multiple channels for receiving feedback. Feedback can come through surveys, direct conversations, social media comments, emails, or even casual observations. Each channel captures different nuances of the customer experience. Ensure that communication is clear, accessible, and encourages honesty. A well-structured channel signals that input is valued and that the business is committed to improvement. Accessibility and ease of expression increase the likelihood that people will share meaningful insight. Distinguish between signals and noise. Not every comment is equally important or actionable. Patterns emerge when similar feedback recurs across different customers or channels. Focus attention on consistent points, significant concerns, and recurring suggestions. Individual observations may provide insight, but repeated signals indicate systemic opportunities or problems. This discernment requires analytical clarity, separating useful input from isolated opinions. Precision in interpretation ensures that changes are impactful rather than superficial. Capture feedback comprehensively. Documenting input accurately allows for reflection, analysis, and accountability. Notes should include context, specifics, and the source of the observation. Organize feedback by category, severity, and frequency to reveal actionable trends. Proper documentation ensures that insights are not lost, ignored, or misinterpreted. When feedback is systematically recorded, the business can approach improvements with evidence-based confidence rather than guesswork or assumptions. Prioritize changes by impact. Not every suggestion can or should be implemented immediately. Evaluate the potential effect of each recommendation on the customer experience, operational efficiency, and business goals. High-impact changes that address common issues or enhance satisfaction should take precedence. Smaller, low-impact suggestions can be scheduled or incorporated gradually. Disciplined prioritization ensures that resources are allocated strategically, producing measurable benefits without dispersing focus. Engage stakeholders in the feedback process. Employees, teams, and partners who interact directly with customers often have unique perspectives on the relevance and feasibility of suggestions. Encourage collaborative discussion to explore potential solutions. Combining frontline insight with leadership perspective produces decisions that are practical, sustainable, and more likely to succeed. Inclusion fosters ownership, commitment, and shared responsibility for implementation. Translate feedback into specific, actionable steps. Abstract observations or general criticism are useful only when converted into tangible modifications. Define clear objectives for what change should achieve, the resources required, the responsible parties, and the timeline for execution. Each step should have measurable outcomes, enabling accountability and verification. Action without structure is inconsistent. Structured execution ensures that feedback leads to actual improvement. Communicate intentions and actions transparently. Customers who provide feedback want to see that their voices have impact. Inform them of the changes being considered or implemented, and acknowledge their contribution. Transparency demonstrates responsiveness, reinforces trust, and encourages further input. Even if certain suggestions cannot be applied immediately, explaining reasoning preserves credibility and signals respect for the customer's perspective. Measure the results of changes systematically. Implementing improvements is only valuable if the effect is assessed. Define metrics that reflect the desired outcomes: increased satisfaction, reduced complaints, improved efficiency, or higher engagement. Track these indicators before and after changes to gauge effectiveness. Objective measurement validates decisions and provides evidence to guide further adjustments. Data-driven evaluation ensures that changes are meaningful, not cosmetic. Develop a culture of continuous improvement. Listening to feedback must be embedded in daily operations and decision-making. Encourage teams to observe, report, and propose enhancements regularly. Reward attentiveness, proactive problem-solving, and evidence-based suggestions. Over time, the organization internalizes a mindset where improvement is habitual, expectations are aligned, and responsiveness is normalized. Consistency transforms feedback from episodic insight into a structural advantage. Avoid defensiveness. Feedback can feel personal, but it should never trigger reactive resistance. Approach all input with curiosity and objectivity. Understand motivations, context, and underlying needs. By suspending judgment and focusing on facts, businesses convert critique into a constructive roadmap. A measured response ensures that emotional reactions do not cloud judgment or impede necessary change. Anticipate feedback before it is given. Observing patterns in behavior, interactions, and outcomes can identify potential concerns proactively. Implementing preemptive improvements reduces friction, enhances satisfaction, and demonstrates attentiveness. When customers recognize that a business addresses issues before they escalate, trust deepens, and the likelihood of repeat engagement increases. Proactive responsiveness reflects competence and commitment. Balance agility with strategic consistency. Rapid responses to feedback are essential, but changes should align with long-term goals and brand values. Avoid impulsive adjustments that compromise quality, reliability, or identity. Implement meaningful improvements thoughtfully, ensuring alignment with broader objectives. Discipline and execution maintains integrity while demonstrating responsiveness, which strengthens credibility and trust. Encourage detailed, constructive feedback. Simple likes or vague praise provide little direction for improvement. Ask specific questions, solicit examples, and invite clarification to uncover actionable insights. Structured feedback prompts reveal nuances, highlight areas for refinement, and uncover opportunities for innovation. Well-guided input allows decisions to be precise, targeted, and effective. Incorporate feedback into product and service design. Customer insights should influence development cycles, feature prioritization, and operational enhancements. Observed needs and suggested improvements serve as a direct link between user experience and business evolution. Listening becomes a driver of innovation when input informs tangible design decisions that enhance functionality, usability, and satisfaction. Document lessons learned from implementation. After changes are made, record successes, challenges, and unexpected outcomes. Reflection ensures that knowledge is retained and applied in future cycles. Each iteration improves the organization's ability to respond efficiently and effectively. Historical insight builds institutional memory, strengthening both agility and long-term competence. Close the loop with the customer. After meaningful adjustments are implemented, communicate outcomes directly. Let the person or group that provided feedback know how their input influenced change. This acknowledgement reinforces the value of their perspective, encourages continued engagement, and strengthens the relational bond. A closed loop demonstrates that feedback is not only heard, but acted upon with seriousness and integrity. Leverage feedback to build trust internally as well as externally. Teams observing management's commitment to listening and implementing changes gain confidence in leadership. Transparent processes, accountability, and demonstrated follow-through inspire commitment, initiative, and ownership. Trust cultivated internally supports consistent execution externally, amplifying the positive effect of feedback on the overall customer experience. Recognize that feedback evolves over time. Customer needs, preferences, and context change continuously. Maintain discipline in observing emerging trends, new challenges, and shifting expectations. Continuous engagement with feedback ensures that services and products remain relevant, competitive, and responsive. Adaptation is not optional. It is a critical driver of sustained growth and customer satisfaction. Integrate feedback mechanisms into everyday operations. Make it effortless for customers and employees to share insights. Ensure tools are accessible, intuitive, and unobtrusive. Streamlined feedback processes increase participation and the quality of input. Convenience and clarity signal respect for the contributor's time and enhance the likelihood of meaningful contributions. Finally, approach feedback as a strategic advantage. When businesses listen actively, interpret insights accurately, implement meaningful changes, and communicate outcomes transparently, they create a cycle of continuous improvement. This cycle fosters trust, strengthens relationships, and demonstrates reliability. Organizations that master the disciplined application of feedback cultivate environments where customers feel heard, teams feel empowered, and growth is steady, deliberate, and resilient. Listening attentively and acting decisively transforms feedback from mere opinion into actionable strategy. It requires humility, focus, and sustained effort. Each observation becomes an opportunity to enhance experiences, refine processes, and align operations with real human needs. Over time, this disciplined approach establishes credibility, fosters loyalty, and positions the business as responsive, adaptive, and deeply committed to meaningful outcomes. Number 7. Reward loyal customers. Strengthen long-term relationships. Loyalty is not built in a day. It is cultivated through consistent attention, appreciation, and meaningful recognition. Rewarding loyal customers is not merely an incentive. It is a statement of respect, a tangible acknowledgement that their continued engagement matters. Every purchase, recommendation, or interaction represents trust placed in the business, and honoring that trust strengthens the foundation of long-term relationships. When people feel genuinely valued, they are motivated to maintain their connection, and their commitment becomes a powerful force that sustains growth, advocacy, and stability. Begin by understanding what loyalty truly means for your audience. Loyalty extends beyond repeat purchases. It encompasses emotional connection, confidence in the brand, and alignment with the values and needs of the customer. Observe behavior patterns to identify the most engaged individuals, who consistently returns, who advocates on behalf of the brand, who interacts with content, participates in initiatives, or provides constructive feedback. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step in tailoring rewards that are meaningful rather than arbitrary. Make the recognition personal. Generic messages or standard incentives fail to resonate. A well-structured loyalty approach identifies unique contributions and engagement levels and offers rewards that reflect the individual's relationship with the business. Personalized acknowledgement communicates attentiveness and intentionality. It signals that the business observes, remembers, and values each person, reinforcing both emotional and practical reasons to continue engagement. Offer rewards that align with real needs and desires. Discounts, exclusive access, early product releases, or specialized services carry more weight when they match the customer's preferences. Conduct careful research or monitor behavior to understand what is truly motivating for each segment of loyal customers. A reward is only effective if it provides tangible value, convenience, or emotional satisfaction. Thoughtful selection demonstrates consideration, increasing both appreciation and retention. Consistency in recognizing loyalty is crucial. Sporadic or irregular rewards can create uncertainty and diminish the sense of value. Establish clear mechanisms and predictable milestones that guide recognition efforts. Customers should understand how their engagement leads to tangible acknowledgement, whether through a structured point system, tiered benefits, or personalized gestures. Consistency fosters trust, strengthens expectations, and reinforces the perception that loyalty is genuinely genuine rather than opportunistically rewarded. Create experiences that reinforce emotional connection. Loyalty is not merely transactional, it is relational. Events, private consultations, community engagement, and exclusive communications deepen the bond between the customer and the brand. These experiences communicate that the relationship is valued beyond monetary exchange. Emotional reinforcement builds resilience in the connection, making it more resistant to competition, market fluctuations, or momentary dissatisfaction. Leverage surprise and delight strategically. Unexpected recognition or benefits amplify satisfaction. Small gestures, such as acknowledging anniversaries, sending personalized messages, or providing unanticipated perks, generate a strong sense of appreciation. These moments are memorable because they are unanticipated, creating a positive emotional imprint that strengthens attachment to the brand. Thoughtful spontaneity signals attentiveness and enhances perceived value. Integrate recognition into regular business practices. Loyalty rewards should not be treated as an afterthought or a separate initiative. They must be embedded in processes, systems, and culture. Every team member should understand the importance of acknowledging engagement, whether through direct interaction, service adjustments, or communications. Institutionalizing recognition ensures reliability, authenticity, and continuity in honoring loyal customers. Track engagement metrics to refine reward strategies. Monitor which initiatives yield the highest retention, advocacy, and satisfaction. Analyze patterns to understand the effectiveness of various rewards, experiences, or gestures. Data-driven insight ensures that resources are allocated efficiently, enhancing impact without waste. Continual monitoring allows adaptive strategies that remain relevant and meaningful as customer needs evolve. Encourage reciprocity without coercion. Effective loyalty programs do not manipulate. They create environments where recognition naturally fosters continued engagement. When customers feel genuinely appreciated, they respond willingly, reinforcing the cycle of interaction. Reciprocity in loyalty emerges organically when acknowledgement is sincere, thoughtful, and aligned with individual preferences. This mutual reinforcement strengthens relationships over time. Communicate clearly about the value of loyalty. Customers should understand not only the tangible rewards, but also the significance of their continued engagement. Transparency about benefits, eligibility, and the reasoning behind recognition initiatives builds clarity and trust. When customers perceive that their loyalty is understood, appreciated, and intentionally rewarded, the relationship deepens. Clear communication reinforces both the logic and emotion behind retention strategies. Empower customers to participate in shaping rewards. Solicit feedback on recognition programs, ask for preferences, and refine approaches according to their insights. Engagement and co-creation signals respect and encourages buy-in. When customers perceive that their input informs the system, attachment strengthens, Active participation increases perceived fairness, relevance, and appreciation, ensuring that loyalty programs resonate authentically. Align rewards with broader brand values. Recognition should reinforce the principles, mission, and identity of the business. This alignment ensures that loyalty initiatives do not feel disconnected or superficial. When rewards echo brand philosophy, they amplify not only satisfaction, but also identity-based loyalty. Customers internalize these values and feel a deeper sense of belonging and alignment with the organization. Utilize milestones as markers of achievement. Recognize progression and engagement with tangible acknowledgement. Each milestone, whether a number of purchases, years of engagement, or participation in community initiatives, represents a measurable contribution. Celebrating these markers reinforces accomplishment, encourages continued involvement, and signals that the business tracks, values, and honors commitments systematically. Milestones provide structure and create aspirational benchmarks for ongoing engagement. Foster community among loyal customers. Shared recognition builds a sense of collective identity, belonging, and mutual support. Encourage interaction through exclusive forums, events, or networking opportunities. When individuals feel part of a recognized group, loyalty extends beyond the individual to the collective, enhancing retention and advocacy. Community-based recognition amplifies the value of engagement by creating social bonds that reinforce connection to the brand. Address loyalty holistically. Consider not only transactional behavior but also advocacy, referrals, and constructive feedback. Reward customers who actively promote the brand, share insights, or contribute to the broader ecosystem. Recognition for non-monetary engagement reinforces the perception that all forms of support are valued. Holistic acknowledgement strengthens multidimensional loyalty, making the relationship richer, more resilient, and mutually beneficial. Adapt rewards over time to maintain relevance. Preferences, priorities, and motivations change, and recognition strategies should evolve accordingly. Continuous observation and adjustment ensure that initiatives remain meaningful, effective, and motivating. Dynamic responsiveness demonstrates attentiveness, reinforces value, and prevents stagnation or disengagement in long-term relationships. Celebrate both longevity and intensity of engagement. Some customers contribute consistently over extended periods, while others may engage intensely in shorter bursts. Recognition should accommodate these variations, rewarding sustained support as well as high-impact contributions. Tailoring acknowledgement ensures fairness, relevance, and maximizes the motivational impact of rewards. Flexibility enhances inclusivity and strengthens the overall loyalty ecosystem. Demonstrate that rewards are earned, not arbitrary. A clear connection between behavior, contribution, and recognition reinforces accountability and reinforces the principle that commitment is noticed and valued. Structured recognition encourages intentional engagement, reduces ambiguity, and strengthens the perception that loyalty has meaning. Customers respond positively when efforts are validated in a measurable and understandable way. Integrate storytelling into recognition. Highlight examples of loyal customers' contributions or experiences in communications, sharing how their engagement has shaped outcomes, influenced others, or added value to the community. Storytelling personalizes acknowledgement, creates emotional resonance, and reinforces both recognition and aspirational behavior. Narratives make loyalty visible and meaningful beyond transactional measures. Finally, view rewarding loyal customers as an investment, rather than a cost. Each acknowledgement strengthens trust, deepens relationships, and encourages sustained engagement. Long-term relationships are nurtured through deliberate, thoughtful, and consistent appreciation. When recognition is authentic, personalized, and strategically executed, it transforms ordinary engagement into lasting commitment, turning customers into advocates and supporters who contribute to growth, stability, and the enduring success of the business. Rewarding loyalty is a disciplined practice that combines observation, insight, empathy, and action. It requires consistent attention to individual behavior, careful selection of meaningful recognition, and transparent communication that reinforces value. Over time, this approach builds durable relationships, enhances satisfaction, and fosters a culture of mutual respect. Customers who feel acknowledged and appreciated return, advocate, and remain committed, creating a compounding effect that sustains both engagement and business growth. Number 8. Streamline operations. Improve efficiency and satisfaction. Efficiency is the backbone of both customer satisfaction and sustainable business growth. Operations that are convoluted, slow, or inconsistent create friction for employees and customers alike. Streamlining operations is not simply about cutting costs or removing steps. It is about designing processes that are clear, repeatable, and optimized to deliver consistent value. When operations run smoothly, employees are empowered to perform their roles effectively, customers experience fewer obstacles, and the business can scale reliably without sacrificing quality. Begin by mapping every critical process in the business. Understand each step in product creation, service delivery, marketing execution, sales, customer support, and fulfillment. Identify dependencies, redundancies, and bottlenecks. Observation is key. What may seem efficient on paper can behave differently in practice. Engage employees who execute the work daily. Their insights reveal inefficiencies that may not be visible to management. A thorough understanding of current workflows forms the foundation for meaningful improvement. Prioritize processes based on impact and frequency. Some operations may affect customer experience directly, while others influence internal efficiency and cost management. Focus first on areas that intersect with customer satisfaction or major operational costs. By improving high-impact processes, businesses see immediate benefits in both revenue and engagement. Prioritization prevents resources from being scattered across low-value activities, ensuring that improvements deliver maximum return. Standardize routine procedures where possible. Standardization reduces variability, prevents errors, and accelerates execution. Document processes clearly with step-by-step instructions, checklists, and defined responsibilities. Standardization provides a consistent experience for customers and employees alike. Consistency breeds reliability, which enhances trust in the business, ensures predictability, and reduces frustration for both staff and clients. Automate repetitive tasks without sacrificing quality. Technology can streamline operations significantly, freeing employees from mundane activities and allowing them to focus on higher value work. Automation can include inventory management, customer communication, data entry, scheduling, and reporting. Implement automation thoughtfully, ensuring that it supports human oversight rather than replacing judgment. Strategic application of technology enhances efficiency while maintaining the personal touch that customers appreciate. Continuously evaluate and eliminate bottlenecks. Slowdowns in operations, whether in production, customer service, or supply chain management, create dissatisfaction and reduce profitability. Track performance metrics, monitor process durations, and gather employee input to identify delays. Once bottlenecks are pinpointed, redesign processes to reduce handoffs, eliminate unnecessary steps, or introduce supportive tools. The goal is a flow where work moves seamlessly from initiation to completion, maximizing speed without compromising quality. Measure efficiency and satisfaction simultaneously. Operational improvements should benefit both the business and its customers. Track key performance indicators such as turnaround times, error rates, employee productivity, customer complaints, and satisfaction scores. Efficiency gains are meaningful only when they translate into improved experience for end users. Measurement ensures that process changes are having the intended effect and provides data to guide further optimization. Empower employees to suggest and implement improvements. Those who work within processes daily often have the best insight into inefficiencies and potential enhancements. Create an environment where observations are encouraged, tested, and acted upon. Employee involvement not only surfaces practical solutions, but also fosters a sense of ownership and accountability. Engagement in operational improvement strengthens morale, aligns staff with organizational goals, and increases overall efficiency. Reduce complexity where possible. Overly complicated procedures slow execution, create opportunities for errors, and confuse both employees and customers. Streamlining involves simplifying steps, consolidating functions, and clarifying responsibilities. Focus on core objectives and remove peripheral or redundant activities. Simplicity accelerates performance, increases clarity, and enhances satisfaction on both sides of the operation. Ensure that communication flows effectively throughout operations. Miscommunication is a major source of inefficiency and frustration. Clear channels, defined reporting structures, and accessible documentation prevent misunderstandings and wasted effort. Regular updates and checkpoints maintain alignment across teams, preventing delays and errors. When everyone understands expectations, timelines, and responsibilities, the operation functions smoothly and predictably. Monitor resource allocation carefully. Efficiency is not only about processes, but also about how human, technological, and financial resources are deployed. Ensure that workloads match capacity and that tools and systems support execution effectively. Misallocation results in wasted effort, employee burnout, and inconsistent outcomes. Strategic allocation ensures that every resource contributes to maximum operational effectiveness and customer satisfaction. Implement feedback loops to refine operations continuously. Collect insights from employees and customers to assess where improvements are working and where challenges remain. Feedback identifies gaps in execution, unexpected friction, and areas for further enhancement. Iterative refinement ensures that operational improvements remain relevant, responsive, and sustainable over time, creating a culture of continuous learning and adaptation. Leverage data to inform operational decisions. Performance metrics, customer behavior, and workflow analytics provide objective evidence for improvement. Decisions based on data rather than intuition reduce errors, enhance efficiency, and increase the likelihood of successful implementation. Analytical insight allows precise adjustments that directly impact both productivity and customer experience. Integrate cross-functional collaboration. Operations rarely exist in isolation. Inefficiencies often emerge at the intersections of departments. Encourage communication and cooperation between teams to streamline handoffs, align objectives, and synchronize efforts. When departments operate cohesively, redundancies are minimized, decision-making is faster, and execution is smoother. Collaboration strengthens overall operational resilience and agility. Focus on scalability in every improvement. Streamlined operations should not only optimize current performance, but also prepare the business for growth. Ensure processes can handle increased volume, new product lines, or expanded services without major disruption. Scalability enables sustainable expansion, reduces the need for constant re-engineering, and enhances confidence in the business's ability to meet growing demands. Invest in employee training and empowerment. Efficiency is amplified when staff understand processes thoroughly and have the skills to execute them independently. Continuous learning ensures employees adapt to changes, adopt new technologies, and maintain high performance. Empowered employees contribute actively to streamlining initiatives, identify inefficiencies proactively, and sustain operational excellence. Anticipate potential obstacles proactively. Effective operations account for variability, unexpected demand, or unforeseen errors. Contingency planning, flexible workflows, and buffer capacity prevent disruptions from cascading through the system. Preparing for challenges maintains efficiency and ensures that customer satisfaction remains high even under pressure. Integrate customer-centric thinking into operational design. Processes should enhance the customer experience, not hinder it. Evaluate workflows from the perspective of the end user. Are steps intuitive, fast, and convenient? Are interactions seamless and responsive? Aligning internal efficiency with external satisfaction ensures that operational improvements deliver value that is visible, tangible, and meaningful to customers. Continuously benchmark against industry standards and best practices. Observe how other organizations achieve efficiency and satisfaction, and adopt relevant strategies. Benchmarking provides perspective, inspiration, and actionable insights for improvement. It also helps identify gaps in performance, guiding targeted operational refinement. Finally, View streamlining operations as a long-term discipline rather than a one-time project. Sustained efficiency and satisfaction require ongoing observation, adjustment, and innovation. Each improvement compounds over time, reinforcing reliability, responsiveness, and quality. Disciplined operational management creates an environment where employees are productive, customers are satisfied, and the business is positioned for continuous growth and resilience. Streamlining operations is the intersection of discipline, insight, and execution. By mapping processes, reducing complexity, leveraging technology, empowering employees, and continuously measuring outcomes, businesses transform inefficiency into opportunity. The result is a system that delivers consistent value, enhances customer experience, optimizes resource use, and positions the organization to scale without sacrificing quality or satisfaction. Efficiency is not simply an internal goal. It is a visible commitment to excellence that strengthens every interaction and drives enduring success. Number 9. Innovate products regularly. Stay ahead competitors. Innovation is not a luxury. It is a necessity for businesses that aspire to lead rather than follow. Markets evolve quickly, technologies advance rapidly, and consumer expectations shift constantly. Relying on past successes or existing products without adaptation leaves companies vulnerable to stagnation and decline. Regular product innovation ensures relevance, sustains growth, and positions a business ahead of competitors. Innovation is both a mindset and a disciplined practice, requiring observation, experimentation, and responsiveness to meaningful opportunities. Start by understanding customer needs deeply. Innovation is most effective when it addresses real problems or enhances experiences in ways that matter. Conduct research through surveys, interviews, analytics, and direct engagement to uncover pain points, desires, and aspirations. Observe patterns in behavior, preferences, and unmet needs. The most impactful innovations often emerge from insights into what customers struggle with or wish they had. Grounding creativity in reality ensures relevance and adoption. Monitor trends and developments in the market. Awareness of industry changes, emerging technologies, and competitor activity is essential to staying ahead. Innovation does not occur in isolation. It must respond to the shifting landscape, identify gaps, anticipate future demands, and recognize opportunities before others do. Being proactive rather than reactive allows businesses to define trends instead of chasing them, creating a leadership position rather than follow. Encourage a culture of experimentation. Innovation thrives in environments where ideas can be tested, refined, and validated without fear of failure. Encourage team members to propose new concepts, challenge assumptions, and explore alternatives. Allocate resources for research, prototyping, and pilot initiatives. A structured approach to experimentation balances creativity with accountability, ensuring that ideas are tested rigorously and refined based on evidence rather than intuition alone. Leverage cross-functional collaboration. Innovation often emerges at the intersection of perspectives, skills, and disciplines. Involve marketing, design, operations, and customer support in ideation and development. Diverse input generates insights that a single viewpoint cannot capture. Collaboration fosters ownership, accelerates problem solving, and enhances the likelihood that new products will meet operational feasibility and market demand simultaneously. Test and iterate rigorously. An initial concept is rarely perfect. Implement pilot programs, limited releases, or beta testing to gather feedback, measure impact, and refine the product. Iterate based on data, customer responses, and operational feasibility. Each cycle of testing improves both quality and relevance. Disciplined iteration transforms creative ideas into practical, market-ready solutions that satisfy customer needs and differentiate from competitors. Balance innovation with brand identity. New products should align with the company's mission, values, and core competencies. Innovation that contradicts the brand's essence risks confusion, alienation, and lost trust. By integrating novelty within the framework of established identity, companies can expand offerings without sacrificing coherence or customer loyalty. Alignment ensures that innovation strengthens the brand rather than diluting it. Invest in continuous learning and skill development. Teams responsible for innovation must remain aware of emerging techniques, technologies, and methodologies. Training, research, and exposure to new ideas enhance the capacity to identify opportunities and implement solutions effectively. An organization that invests in intellectual growth positions itself to adapt, respond, and lead consistently rather than relying solely on past expertise. Utilize customer involvement in the innovation process. Engaging customers in co-creation, feedback, and testing ensures that products reflect genuine needs. Invite input at early stages to validate concepts, refine features, and identify potential pitfalls. Participation fosters a sense of ownership, increases adoption rates, and reinforces trust. Customers are more likely to embrace solutions they had a hand in shaping, accelerating market acceptance and loyalty. Anticipate challenges proactively. Innovation is inherently risky, but disciplined planning mitigates obstacles. Consider supply chain limitations, production feasibility, regulatory requirements, and resource allocation before scaling new products. Identifying potential roadblocks allows teams to design contingency plans and execute more efficiently. Proactive problem-solving reduces delays, ensures quality, and maintains momentum during the development cycle. Maintain a rhythm of regular updates and improvements. Innovation is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing commitment. Regularly refresh products, introduce enhancements, and release iterations to sustain engagement and relevance. Consistency signals to the market that the business is dynamic, attentive, and committed to providing continuous value. A steady cadence of innovation prevents competitors from seizing advantage and positions the brand as a leader. Measure the impact of new products strategically. Track adoption, satisfaction, profitability, and market reception to evaluate success. Metrics inform decisions about scaling, refining, or discontinuing offerings. Objective assessment ensures that resources are allocated effectively and lessons are learned for future initiatives. Discipline in measurement transforms experimentation into strategic advantage. Protect intellectual property and unique advantages. Innovative products may introduce ideas that competitors could replicate. Safeguard proprietary designs, processes, or technologies through patents, copyrights, or trade secrets. Protection maintains competitive edge and ensures that investment in innovation yields sustainable benefits rather than temporary gains. Legal diligence complements creative effort, creating both security and leverage in the market. Foster adaptability within the organization. Innovation often introduces uncertainty, requiring flexibility in operations, marketing, and customer service. Teams must be able to adjust workflows, messaging, and support structures to accommodate new offerings. Organizational adaptability ensures that products are delivered seamlessly, customers experience value as intended, and potential disruptions are minimized. Integrate feedback loops into product development. Collect insights from customers, sales teams, and support staff to refine products continuously. Real-world application often reveals unforeseen challenges or opportunities. Incorporating feedback in subsequent iterations strengthens relevance, performance, and user satisfaction. Continuous refinement ensures that innovation is dynamic rather than static, maintaining alignment with evolving market needs. Prioritize high-impact innovation opportunities. Not every idea warrants full-scale development. Evaluate potential based on customer benefit, market differentiation, feasibility, and strategic alignment. Focus on initiatives that deliver significant competitive advantage, enhance the user experience, or open new markets. Disciplined prioritization maximizes return on innovation efforts and ensures that resources are concentrated where they create the greatest effect. Encourage calculated risk-taking. Innovation requires stepping beyond the familiar. Cultivate an environment where experimentation is supported, failure is framed as learning, and calculated risks are evaluated critically. Avoid reckless decision-making, but do not let fear of uncertainty stifle creativity. Balanced risk-taking fuels progress, stimulates differentiation, and positions the business ahead of competitors who are slower to act. Leverage technology as an enabler. Modern innovation is often dependent on leveraging digital tools, automation, data analytics, and emerging platforms. Identify technologies that enhance product development, customer interaction, or operational efficiency. Proper application of technology accelerates ideation, reduces costs, and increases precision in delivering solutions that meet market expectations. Communicate innovations effectively to the market. A product's value is realized only when customers understand and perceive its benefits. Craft messaging that highlights what is new, improved, or unique. Demonstrate relevance, usability, and advantage over existing options. Clear, persuasive communication enhances adoption, strengthens brand perception, and positions the company as forward-thinking and responsive. Finally, view innovation as a disciplined, continuous journey rather than sporadic inspiration. It is a mindset embedded in strategy, culture, and execution. Regular product innovation, informed by insight, customer engagement, market observation, and rigorous iteration, creates sustainable competitive advantage. Businesses that commit to ongoing creativity, responsive adaptation, and methodical improvement maintain relevance, outperform competitors, and inspire confidence in both customers and stakeholders. Innovation is not an abstract ideal. It is the practical application of observation, discipline, creativity, and responsiveness. By consistently improving products, anticipating market needs, and aligning initiatives with strategic vision, businesses establish leadership, resilience, and enduring value. Staying ahead of competitors is achieved through deliberate, sustained effort, where every innovation reinforces relevance, strengthens customer trust, and secures the position of the company as a trusted, forward-thinking, and dynamic market leader. Number 10. Build community, foster authentic customer connections. A strong business thrives not only on transactions, but on relationships. Building a community and fostering authentic connections with customers creates a foundation that goes beyond individual purchases. People seek belonging, validation, and shared purpose. And when a business facilitates those needs, loyalty, engagement, and advocacy flourish. A community transforms customers from passive recipients into active participants who contribute, share, and reinforce the brand's value in tangible ways. Cultivating such connections requires intentionality, consistent effort, and genuine attention to human experience. Start by defining the purpose of the community. A community is not merely a marketing tactic. It is a space where people can gather around shared values, interests, or goals. Clarify what the group stands for, what it offers, and how members benefit from participation. Purpose drives engagement because people connect most strongly when they feel alignment with the mission. A clear vision creates cohesion, sets expectations, and provides a guiding principle for all interactions and initiatives within the community. Encourage meaningful interaction among members. Connection thrives when individuals engage with each other, exchange ideas, ask questions, and support one another. Facilitate forums, social media groups, or in-person events where dialogue is encouraged. Encourage discussions that are substantive, positive, and relevant to the interests of the group. Engagement builds familiarity, trust, and a sense of belonging that strengthens the emotional bond to the brand. Provide platforms for contribution and recognition. Customers are more likely to invest in a community when their voices are heard and valued. Offer opportunities for members to share experiences, provide feedback, or contribute content. Recognize contributions publicly to reinforce engagement and demonstrate appreciation. Authentic acknowledgement builds self-worth among participants and solidifies their connection to both the community and the business. Facilitate knowledge sharing. Communities thrive when members help each other solve problems, share insights, or explore opportunities. Curate spaces where expertise, experiences, and lessons learned can be exchanged. Providing structure, guidance, and encouragement for knowledge sharing positions the brand as a facilitator rather than a monopolist of value. When customers feel that they are learning and contributing, engagement deepens and loyalty becomes embedded in their experience. Create experiences that connect on a personal level. Events, workshops, webinars, or interactive sessions allow participants to engage directly with the brand and with each other. These experiences humanize the business and create emotional resonance. Personal interaction strengthens trust, enhances perception of authenticity, and provides opportunities for meaningful networking. Shared experiences forge memories, associations, and bonds that remain long after transactions are complete. Maintain consistent and authentic communication. The tone, frequency, and content of communication should be aligned with the community's purpose and values. Avoid generic messaging that feels impersonal or self-serving. Instead, prioritize messages that inform, inspire, and foster dialogue. Authentic communication demonstrates attentiveness, reinforces credibility, and encourages members to remain active and engaged. Encourage collaboration and joint initiatives. Communities gain strength when members work together on shared goals or challenges. Facilitate projects, campaigns, or initiatives where collaboration is possible, highlighting both individual contributions and collective success. Joint activities deepen relationships, build trust, and create a sense of shared achievement that strengthens ties to the brand and to fellow members. Foster inclusivity and respect. Authentic connections thrive in environments where all members feel welcome, heard, and valued. Establish norms and guidelines that encourage constructive, positive engagement. Address conflicts or negative behavior swiftly and fairly to maintain a safe, supportive environment. Inclusivity ensures that the community remains vibrant, cohesive, and attractive to both existing and potential members. Leverage storytelling to build connection. Share stories of individual customers, their experiences, successes, and contributions within the community. Storytelling humanizes the brand, makes engagement tangible, and reinforces emotional resonance. Highlighting narratives creates shared identity, inspires participation, and demonstrates that the business values the people who support it. Stories become a bridge that transforms abstract connections into concrete, relatable experiences. Provide exclusive value to community members. Offer content, resources, access, or experiences that are only available to participants. Exclusive benefits create a sense of privilege, enhance perceived value, and encourage ongoing involvement. When members see that the community delivers unique advantages, they remain engaged, feel appreciated, and develop a deeper emotional connection to the brand. Integrate feedback mechanisms within the community. Encourage members to voice opinions, share suggestions, and participate in decisions that affect the group or the business. Actively responding to feedback signals that the community is valued and respected. Participation in shaping the environment fosters ownership, strengthens loyalty, and creates a reciprocal relationship where members feel invested in the success of both the community and the brand. Build bridges between online and offline interaction. Digital platforms allow broad participation, but in-person engagement deepens trust and connection. Organize meetups, networking events, or collaborative projects that allow members to connect in tangible ways. Physical interaction reinforces relationships, humanizes digital connections, and provides memorable experiences that strengthen attachment and loyalty. Encourage advocacy organically. When members feel genuinely connected, they naturally promote the brand through word of mouth, recommendations, and shared experiences. Facilitate opportunities for advocacy by highlighting success stories, creating shareable content, and recognizing contributions. Advocacy is a natural byproduct of authentic engagement and reinforces the credibility and reach of the business in ways traditional marketing cannot achieve. Maintain transparency and integrity in all interactions. Trust is the foundation of community. Clearly communicate intentions, policies, and any changes that affect members. Avoid hidden agendas or manipulative tactics, as these erode confidence and damage relationships. Integrity reinforces authenticity, ensuring that the community remains a safe, credible, and valued space where connections can flourish naturally. Invest in long-term relationship building. Communities grow stronger over time through consistent attention, meaningful engagement, and ongoing opportunities for connection. Avoid short-term tactics that prioritize immediate sales over lasting relationships. A long-term approach signals commitment, reliability, and respect for the member's time and involvement. Sustained investment in relationships transforms engagement into loyalty and advocacy. Celebrate milestones and achievements collectively. Recognize both individual and group successes within the community. Milestone acknowledgement reinforces participation, creates shared pride, and strengthens bonds among members. Celebrating progress and accomplishments enhances morale, maintains enthusiasm, and reinforces the value of engagement with the community and the brand. Integrate social responsibility and shared purpose. Communities are strengthened when they rally around meaningful causes or shared values. Encourage involvement in initiatives that align with the community's ethos, whether charitable efforts, environmental actions, or social impact projects. Shared purpose enhances cohesion, deepens emotional investment, and aligns the community with values that resonate beyond transactional relationships. Encourage mentorship and peer support. Facilitate structures where experienced members guide newcomers, share expertise, and provide encouragement. Mentorship strengthens ties within the community, creates a culture of support, and reinforces reciprocal value. Members who mentor feel recognized and empowered, while those receiving guidance gain confidence and connection. Continuously assess the health of the community. Monitor engagement, satisfaction, participation, and sentiment to ensure that interactions remain meaningful and constructive. Identify emerging challenges, disengagement patterns, or opportunities for growth. Proactive management ensures that the community remains vibrant, relevant, and capable of fostering authentic connections consistently over time. Finally, view community building as an ongoing commitment rather than a temporary campaign. Cultivating authentic connections requires patience, attentiveness, and strategic focus. A thriving community strengthens trust, loyalty, and advocacy, creating a sustainable foundation that supports both customer satisfaction and business growth. Consistent effort, authentic engagement, and genuine attention to human needs ensure that the relationships formed within the community are enduring, resilient, and mutually enriching. Building community is the art of connecting people meaningfully around shared values, interests, and experiences. When executed with authenticity, transparency, and intentionality, it transforms simple interactions into lasting relationships, drives engagement, and fosters loyalty that extends far beyond transactions. A community becomes a living ecosystem where customers feel valued, heard, and invested, creating a dynamic, thriving environment that supports sustainable success and strengthens the overall impact of the business.